Hi guys, Louis Strauss here from the Wolfman Chronicles channel. I want to welcome you guys to this channel, both my subscribers and also the newcomers. If you like the data and the content, then please do hit the like and subscribe button. We are trying to get 50 subscribers because I have two awesome videos to unlock for you guys. One is called How to Survive 5 Months of Hell, and the other one is called The Coming Alien Invasion. It's two awesome videos, you do not want to miss them. And I will unlock them as soon as I get, the big 50, big 50 subscribers. And guys, we're doing really well. We are up to 30 now, so only 20 more people. That's all we need. It's only 20 more people. Okay, let's get on to it. Last week, we made a part 1 series of Werewolves and Dogmen, where I basically focused on werewolves. In that video, I explained to you guys that there is no potion. There is no secret script you read to the moon. There is no secret witchcraft thing you gotta do to turn into a werewolf, okay? The closest you'll get to become a werewolf is if you go and act out like that young girl in America who called herself Wolfie and killed her neighbor's dog, and now she's running around with a wolf tail. Okay, that's the closest you'll get. Only angels can turn into these werewolves. In fact, they can turn into any creature they like. The Bible says that they intrigued people with their magic back in the days of Noah and Enoch, the pre-flood world. And also that, that is how they would get these wives to like them, even though they just take a wife without anyone's consent. And they did a lot of bad things. I explained all this in part 1. I'm not going to go over it again. It's a long story, okay? But please go and watch part 1. I'm just going to jump on straight to dogmen. Alright, so there's a difference between dogmen and werewolves. Werewolves, like I said, is angels who have the spiritual ability to transform into these creatures. And also they can communicate. I forgot to mention this in part 1. They can communicate with each other. They can also communicate with human beings. Okay, so if you ever find yourself in a forest, if you're planning to go hunting or camping or just going for a bushwalk, and you run into these things, the only way to find out whether it's a werewolf or a dogman is, the difference is, the werewolf will tell you he's gonna eat you, and then he'll eat you. The dogman, he'll just eat you. Okay, it's that simple. Okay, I know, it's a dark joke. But anyway, dogmen, right, they are basically the pets of these angels. It says back in the day, in the pre-flood world, that the angels created not just giants by sleeping with earthly women, the Nephilim, who later became cannibals because the people just couldn't keep up with feeding them, so they started feeding on the people. The angels also created with their DNA and also mixing, playing, fooling around with humans and birds and humans and cats and humans and dogs and humans and dolphins and all sorts of stuff, creatures from the land, the air and the sea. All right, but for the most part, these kind of dogmen and Bigfoot things, they were pets. And I believe that there is some sort of a copper device that goes around the ankle, or the wrist or the neck of these creatures, and they would be able to control these beings through that device. Okay, Very much like we have collars for our animals today, dogs and cats. And we can control our animals by putting you know, a leash on them. And now we are at the state of the art. You can actually put GPS on them. All right, you can track your animal, whether it's a dog or a cat. So back in those days, they created these dogmen creatures who are chimeras. They are genetically modified or genetically engineered beings. Okay, half man, half dog, half man, half lion, or whatever. They mixed with anything, but the most favorite for them was dogmen, because just like God wanted to create mankind in his image, they wanted to create something in their own image that they could transform into, but something more permanent, something more 24/7, 365. Permanent animal. And this was their pets. And also they would use these pets for entertainment, very much like the Romans did. So the Romans built these huge arenas. They threw a bunch of Christians and slaves in there, and then they let the lions loose. While these guys, back in the pre-flood world, they had this similar concept. They would have pits or arenas, and they would throw all the slaves in that are not willing to cooperate with them, or sometimes slaves that are sick and ill or weak, like old people. And then, unlike the Romans who will let the lions loose, these angels, they'll let their pets loose. They'll let the dogmen loose. And the dogmen will go in and kill all these people and tear them apart. And for them, it was like a main event, a main sport event. Okay, the Bible says the earth back then was corrupt and violent, very, very violent. Okay, very dangerous, very much like a world of Narnia. Okay, now today we still have sightings of these beings, whether it's dogmen or Sasquatch or Bigfoot or the Yeti or the Bushman or the mountain man or the forest man, whatever man. Okay, these things are still around, and it's because there is this planet X, planet Nibiru, and Satan, that is his hometown. He lives there with his angels and also with a whole bunch of different species of extraterrestrials. One among them is the reptilians. Okay, they all live there on this planet Nibiru. And just like we are doing research with technology and stuff to upgrade our weaponry, so are they doing it still. And they come to this planet from time to time in their EFIAs, which is UFOs. And they would like to choose areas that are mostly forest and not a huge human population, where they can do their research and collect whatever DNA samples they want to collect. Kind of see it like this. I'll give you an example. Most of you have seen my little dog Amigo. He's very active. He's a little Jack Russell. Okay, and he lives with me, obviously, at our house. And if I feel like I want to take him out to the park, or for a 45-minute drive to the beach, I'd call him, I'd put his leash on, we'll drive to the park or to the beach. I'll let him out of the car, still with the leash on, so I can control him. And if I see there are no other dogs around that are going to harass him, or there are no people around that he will harass, and it's safe for him, then I'll take I'll unclip the leash and I'll let him loose and he'll go. And he'll have a fun time, he'll chase the birds and he'll go and dig holes and stuff, and he'll be a happy dog. And then when it's time to go, I will just simply call him, I'll clip back on the leash, get in the car and we'll drive home. Well, it's the same thing for these extraterrestrial beings who have now adopted the pre-flood world technology. Talking about DNA here from the angels, because they are now in alliance with Lucifer and his angels. All right, so they would come to Earth and they would do their research in these forest-like areas with not a huge population, because they want to try and not expose themselves too much, and also they want also safety for their pet, which is this dogman or this Bigfoot or whatever you want to call it. And they'll let them loose, but they are being controlled by this, like I said, this sort of a copper bracelet. All right, they still know the location of their pet and kind of where he's going. And then when it's time to leave Earth to go back to their home planet, they'll just call him back. It's as simple as that. And sometimes this pet, whether it's a dogman or a Bigfoot, sometimes they will come back with a human being. Sometimes dead, sometimes alive. And if it's alive, they'll get a little treat from their masters, I'm sure of it. But yeah, that is the reality here. There's a guy, I can't remember his name, I'll put his name down on the link. He's written many books, and it's called 411 Missing People. Just mysterious ways, especially hunters, especially hikers, especially people going camping. They might go in a crowd of 10, 20 people, and then just one person just disappear like that, never to be seen again. And sometimes when these people disappear, they'll get the police involved, and they'll do a huge search of a huge area for about 3 weeks, and then 2 years later or 5 years later, some guy will go hunting or just walking, and then they'll find a body, or they'll find a gun and shoes. And many of these cases are like 60, 80 years old in the FBI files, and it's still not closed because it's unexplainable what happened there. It's mysterious, They don't get it. Well, maybe it's because the dogman found someone, took him to the spaceship, he got a little treat, or it's his little snack on the way home. And when the extraterrestrials come back again to that very same area, 2 years or 5 years later, they just dump the bones, or they just dump the gun, to try and fool mankind, like, oh, there's the body. That's just crazy stuff. But anyway, that is what dogmen are, okay? They are basically hellhounds. They are pets to the extraterrestrials, and who knows, maybe still pets to some of the bad angels. I don't think the angels are that much interested in having these pets anymore, because back then in the pre-flood world, they were conducting their own experiments, just doing their own thing. Now for them it's mostly about building up an army, okay, and their army that they want to build up is basically the coming flood, the second flood. And I talk about this in the timeline for the coming apocalypse. Go and check that video out. Okay, I talk about the hourglass. All right, once you see the hourglass turn upside down, there'll be a time and times and half a time, and then the flood will come, the second flood. And trust me, this second flood, it ain't gonna have sharks and crocodiles in it like the first flood of Noah. This flood is gonna be a seriously a bad flood, and you really want to go and watch my video to find out what this flood is. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video about dogmen. So now we've finished part 2, and this is the end for werewolves and dogmen, where I try to explain what the difference are between these two creatures, these two beings. Okay, don't believe anything Hollywood say, please. You know, NASA and Hollywood, they're all actors. It's it's just misleading. Um, yeah, just yeah, don't get into that. You know, and silver bullets don't kill werewolves. It doesn't kill dogmen. Okay, you really need to have a really good big gun to take one of these beasts down, because they are big. I'm telling you, they're big. I've had 3 encounters. My first one is on this channel. It's called Donald's Werewolf. Go and check that out. Where Donald, my friend in South Africa, told me he saw a werewolf. And, you know, I kind of laughed about it until I had the encounter with this thing myself. And I didn't just see it, I chased it. All right. And then there are 2 more encounters that I will tell you guys about in the future. And those 2 happened recently, just about, say, mid last year, here in New Zealand. All right. And one was the year before that. So these things are very much real. And like I say, the difference between a dogman and a werewolf is a werewolf will tell you he's going to kill you and eat you. That's angelic. That's an angel. A dogman is just like a canine. You know, if he gets an opportunity, he'll snatch you. And trust me, for him to pick up someone that's about 80 or 90 kgs is very easy, because these things are huge. I've seen one. They're huge, man. They'll just pick you up and throw you around like a stuffed toy, and then they'll take you back to the spaceship, to their masters, you know. And then you'll either be going on the bed for experiments, or you'll be doggy food. You know, you'll be a snack back to this planet called Planet Nibiru. My advice when it comes to dogmen and these things is, if you are going to go into the forest as a hunter or as a camper, or just, you know, going for a walk, I would strongly suggest that, you know, if you are Christian, you have a little cross necklace or a cross bracelet with you, or you have a little pocket Bible, or, you know, in your backpack. Make sure you put a Bible, because these things, they don't like Christians. I'm telling you, they will not attack Christians. You can go and look at all these studies and cases of most people going missing. They're not Christians. Okay, that says a lot. So yeah, carry a Bible or a little cross or something, because like I say, these things, they can sense positive energy. And that's why I always say at the end of my videos, be good, be kind, look after yourself, respect others, respect your parents, and respect older people. Okay, that's positive energy. If you have that positive energy, it's like a shield around your body. You kind of glow in the spiritual world. And these spiritual beings, they sense that. They can see that. And then they'll just stay away from you. Okay? But if you are involved in witchcraft, or you are involved of crime, or you are just, you know, a very negative person, well, I can tell you, don't go into the woods, because you will become an easy snack. All right, signing off. Cheers.